The autumn rain fell softly on the parking lot as Marcus Williams held his daughter's hand a little tighter. At 52, he'd learned that some storms pass, and some leave you stronger. His 8-year-old daughter, Emma, clutched her backpack and looked up at him with those bright, trusting eyes that made every struggle worthwhile. 3 years now since her mother left. 3 years of learning to braid hair, pack lunches, and be both father and mother to this precious child. Marcus worked as a senior accountant at Henderson & Associates, a respected firm downtown. 28 years he'd given to that company, building his reputation one careful spreadsheet at a time. His salt and pepper beard was always neatly trimmed, his shirts always pressed, even on the mornings when exhaustion pulled at him like an undertow. This particular morning, he was running late. Emma's science project had needed last-minute repairs, and breakfast had burned. These things happened when you were doing it alone. He walked Emma to her classroom, pausing at the door to kiss her forehead. "Have a wonderful day, sweetheart. I'll be right here at 3 o'clock. I know, Daddy, you're always here." She smiled and disappeared into the classroom. As Marcus turned to leave, he nearly collided with Vanessa Morrison, his ex-wife. She stood there in the hallway, perfectly coiffed and dressed in expensive athleisure, her new husband's money evident in every detail. "Still playing Mr. Mom, I see," Vanessa said, her voice dripping with something that might have been pity, if pity weren't so kind. Marcus took a slow breath. "I'm being her father, Vanessa. That's what parents do. It's just sad, Marcus. A man your age, still stuck in some middle management position, playing house with a little girl. Don't you think she needs more? Don't you think she deserves a real family?" The words landed like stones, but Marcus had developed thick skin over the years. He'd had to. "Emma has everything she needs," he said quietly. "She has love. She has stability. She has a father who shows up." Vanessa laughed, a brittle sound that echoed off the elementary school walls. "You call that stability? Living in that cramped apartment? Driving that old car? I tried to make something better for her, but you're just too proud to admit you can't give her the life she deserves." Other parents were starting to notice. Marcus felt the familiar heat of embarrassment creeping up his neck, but he kept his voice steady. "Have a good day, Vanessa." He walked away with as much dignity as he could gather, feeling her eyes on his back, feeling the weight of judgment from strangers who didn't know his story. The drive to work usually calmed him. 40 minutes of quiet, of morning radio, of watching the city wake up. But today, Vanessa's words clung to him like smoke. Was he enough? Was his love enough? At the office, Marcus settled into his familiar routine. Numbers had always made sense to him. They didn't judge. They didn't leave. They simply were what they were, waiting to be understood. Around 11, his desk phone rang. It was Margaret from reception. "Marcus, Mr. Henderson would like to see you in his office." His heart skipped. Robert Henderson, the company's founder and CEO, rarely called people to his office unless something was very right or very wrong. Marcus straightened his tie and made his way to the executive floor. At 52, he'd learned not to borrow trouble, but his mind still raced through possibilities. Robert Henderson was 71, a tall man with kind eyes and a reputation for fairness that had built the company's sterling reputation. He stood as Marcus entered, which was unusual. "Marcus, come in, please, sit down." Robert's voice was warm, but serious. Marcus sat, folding his hands in his lap, waiting. "I'm going to be direct with you," Robert began. "This morning, I received a call from my granddaughter's teacher at Riverside Elementary. She mentioned there was an incident in the hallway. A woman saying some rather unkind things to a father who brings his daughter to school every morning." Marcus felt his stomach drop. "Mr. Henderson, Robert held up a hand. "Let me finish. My granddaughter, Sarah, is in Emma's class. Do you know what she told me when I picked her up yesterday?" Marcus shook his head. "She said that Emma's daddy is the nicest daddy at school. That he always has a smile for every child. That he helped her find her lost library book last week, and he stayed late at the science fair to help kids whose parents couldn't come." Robert's eyes were gentle. "She said Emma talks about you all the time. About how you make pancakes on Sunday mornings. About how you read to her every night. About how you learn to do her hair by watching YouTube videos." Marcus felt something tight in his chest begin to loosen. "I've worked with you for 28 years, Marcus. I've watched you come to work with sleepless eyes after caring for a sick child. I've seen you take lunch at your desk so you could leave early for a school play. And I've watched your work never suffer. Not once. Robert stood and walked around his desk. To Marcus's surprise, the older man placed a hand on his shoulder. What your ex-wife said to you this morning was cruel and it was wrong. You're not playing house. You're not stuck. You, my friend, are doing one of the hardest and most important jobs there is. You're raising a good human being, and you're doing it with grace. Marcus felt his eyes burning. In 3 years, no one had said anything like this to him. Not once. I want you to know something, Robert continued. Next month, James Patterson is retiring from the senior vice president position. I've been considering candidates for weeks. The position comes with a significant salary increase, better benefits, and more flexibility for family obligations. He paused, and his grip on Marcus's shoulder tightened slightly. The job is yours if you want it, Marcus. It's not charity, it's recognition of 28 years of excellence and integrity. You've earned this 10 times over. Marcus couldn't speak. He simply nodded, feeling 3 years of carrying everything alone suddenly feel a little lighter. Thank you, sir, he finally managed. No, Robert said firmly. Thank you for showing my granddaughter what a real father looks like. Thank you for being exactly the kind of person we want representing this company. And thank you for reminding an old man what really matters in this life. That afternoon, Marcus picked Emma up from school right at 3 o'clock, just like always. But this time, when she ran to him and threw her arms around his waist, he held her a little longer. Daddy, you're squishing me. She laughed. Sorry, baby girl, just happy to see you. As they walked to the car, hand in hand, Marcus noticed Vanessa watching from across the parking lot. She was standing with another mother, probably sharing more opinions about his life. For the first time in a long time, it simply didn't matter. That evening, after homework and dinner and the nightly battle over brushing teeth, Marcus tucked Emma into bed and pulled out her favorite book. Daddy, Emma said softly. Yeah, sweetheart, Sarah's grandpa came to school today. He told our teacher that you're his favorite parent. Marcus smiled. That was kind of him. Are you sad that mommy said those things this morning? So she had heard. Marcus should have known. Emma heard everything. He thought carefully about his answer. At 8 years old, she deserved truth, but she also deserved protection from adult bitterness. Sometimes people say things when they're unhappy, baby girl. It doesn't mean those things are true. What matters is that you and I know the truth. We know we're a team. We know we take care of each other. That's real. Emma nodded, her small hand finding his. I love our family, Daddy. Just you and me. Me too, Emma. Me too. As he read to her that night, watching her eyelids grow heavy, Marcus thought about the unexpected gifts that come from hardship. 3 years ago, when Vanessa left, he thought his life was ending. In some ways, it was. The life he'd imagined, the partnership he'd counted on, those things had died. But something else had been born. A deeper relationship with his daughter. A clearer understanding of what truly mattered. A strength he didn't know he possessed. The next morning, Marcus woke early and made those Sunday pancakes on a Thursday, just because. Emma's laughter filled their small apartment as he flipped one too high and it stuck to the ceiling. At the office later, he began the transition into his new role. The announcement would be made official next week, but already he could feel the shift. More than the money or the title, it was the recognition that meant everything. Robert Henderson had seen him, really seen him, and found him worthy. 2 weeks later, at the company's quarterly meeting, Robert made the announcement formal. As applause filled the room, Marcus noticed several colleagues smiling at him with genuine warmth. These people had watched his journey too. They had seen him leave early for parent-teacher conferences, come in late after doctor's appointments, take calls from the school nurse, and still deliver excellent work, year after year. After the meeting, an older colleague named Patricia approached him. She was close to retirement, a grandmother several times over. Marcus, I just wanted to say, my daughter is going through a divorce right now. Her husband has the kids on weekends, and she's struggling. I'm going to tell her about you. About how you've done this. Because she needs to know it's possible. That you can be enough, all by yourself. Marcus felt that tightness in his chest again, but it was a good kind of ache. Tell her to take it one day at a time, he said. Some days you'll get it right. Some days you'll burn breakfast and forget about show and tell. But the love makes up for everything else. Patricia nodded, her eyes misty. That's beautiful advice. Thank you. That weekend, Marcus took Emma to her favorite park. They fed the ducks, played on the swings, and shared an ice cream cone in the autumn sunshine. Simple pleasures. The kind that don't cost much but mean everything. As Emma chased pigeons across the grass, Marcus sat on a bench and thought about Vanessa's words in that elementary school hallway. She'd called him sad, said he was stuck, but looking at Emma, her joy, her confidence, her kindness, Marcus knew the truth. He wasn't stuck, he was exactly where he needed to be. 3 years of being a single father had taught him that strength isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up, day after day, even when you're tired. Even when it's hard, even when people judge you. Emma ran back to him, breathless and happy. "Daddy, can we get hot chocolate on the way home?" "Absolutely, sweetheart, with extra marshmallows. Is there any other way?" She climbed onto his lap, too big for it really, but he made room. She'd be grown before he knew it, off to college, building her own life. But for now, she was here, and he was here, and they had each other. That was enough. That was everything. As they walked back to the car, Marcus's phone buzzed. A text from Robert Henderson. "Dinner next week with the family. Sarah insists Emma must come. She says they're best friends now." Marcus smiled and typed back, "We'd be honored." Later, tucked into bed with her favorite stuffed bear, Emma looked up at her father with those trusting eyes. "Daddy, when I grow up, I want to be just like you." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "Yeah, why's that?" "Because you're brave, and you make the best pancakes. And you always know how to make sad things better." He kissed her forehead, breathing in the scent of her strawberry shampoo. "You, my beautiful girl, make everything better just by being you." As he turned out the light and closed her door, Marcus stood in the hallway of their small apartment and felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. Not because everything was perfect. Not because the struggles were over. But because he knew, deep in his bones, that he was doing right by his daughter. That he was being the father she needed. That his love was enough. In the quiet of the evening, Marcus thought about all the people who had touched his life recently. Robert Henderson, who saw beyond the surface. Patricia, who trusted him with her daughter's story. Even Vanessa, in her own way, who had shown him what he was made of. But mostly, he thought about Emma. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt, all of it was worth it for the chance to be her father. Life had not turned out the way he planned. But sometimes, Marcus thought, life knows better than our plans. Sometimes, what looks like an ending is really a beginning. And sometimes, the greatest gift is discovering that you're stronger than you ever imagined. He picked up his phone and sent one more text, this time to Emma's teacher. "Thank you for seeing us. For seeing her. It means more than you know." The response came quickly. "Emma is a joy. And it's clear where she gets it from. You're doing a wonderful job, Mr. Williams." Marcus set down his phone and walked to the kitchen to prepare tomorrow's lunches. This quiet ritual, this act of love, packing a sandwich, adding a note, including her favorite snack, was his way of saying what sometimes felt too big for words. Outside, the autumn rain had started again, gentle and steady. But inside, Marcus Williams and his daughter were warm, safe, and together. And that, he knew, was all that really mattered.